Hey, folks, it's Nate. It's time I got back to the drawing board. And tonight, I just want to wrap up talking about Battle Angel. And I had a few closing thoughts that I wanted to share with you all. And they come from the position of a person who's been a fan of the Battle Angel franchise for a long time. Much like many people in Comicsgate are longtime comics fans, I am a longtime manga fan. And one of the first series I picked up was Battle Angel. I've always enjoyed it. I like cyberpunk. I'm not, in love with cyberpunk, but it is a genre that I like and I appreciate getting into every now and again. And Battle Angel is a very good cyberpunk story. And I guess over the past couple of weeks, I've watched the approach Comicsgate has taken to Battle Angel, and it's been, well, it's been a little off-putting. As you've probably guessed, if you've watched my last two videos where I talk about the characters in the world of Battle Angel and how I feel that the film really didn't serve them very well, you may have gathered that I'm not a huge fan of the movie. I wouldn't say it's bad. As a standalone movie, it's actually borderline good. I would probably give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10. And that's largely due to what I feel are some pretty significant weaknesses in the villains. I mean, they're not adapted in line with their source material counterparts, but they still could have been good villains. You can radically change something from its source material and still make a good standalone story. I think that Edge of Tomorrow, as compared to its source material, All You Need Is Kill, is a great example of that. Edge of Tomorrow, I think, is actually better than All You Need Is Kill by leaps and bounds. And there are a lot of different reasons for that, which aren't really relevant here. What I'm trying to say is, I think you could have changed the characters from Battle Angel, and still made a good movie. There's nothing wrong with that idea per se, so long as your craftsmanship is on point and you have real reasons for making all of these changes that improve the story rather than harming the story. And my problem is that I really don't feel they did that with Battle Angel. It's just an okay action movie. There's nothing wrong with okay action movies. Okay action movies are kind of the bread and butter of Hollywood a lot of the time, and you kind of have to have a lot of okay action movies to get really good action movies. But I feel like in the rush to make Battle Angel a weapon in the campaign against Captain Marvel, a lot of its weaknesses that really should be talked about have been overlooked. I mean, let's face it. Greninja, Makaku, as I like to call him, really probably the most compelling villain in the story. He's not bad. He does pose a significant physical threat for a time. He's interesting. He has hints of a backstory. He grew up in the sewers. That's good. That's interesting. He's never really expanded on, though. And ultimately, in the final confrontation, Alita defeats him quite easily. There's no tension to it. At least I felt there wasn't tension to it. It was he was ultimately sacrificed as a buildup to the reveal of the Damascus blade as a plasma weapon, which I also have issues with. That's definitely not canonical. But again, not what I'm trying to get at. As for Nova, he's barely there. Like, he's talked up, and that's not necessarily bad. Building him up as a villain for future films, it can be a good bet. But he's not really a compelling villain. He can he can be excuse me, he can be a compelling mystery. Is he really the ruler of Salem, or is he just working on behalf of the rulers? What is his place in the society of Salem? What is that society like? There's a lot of interesting questions there. But he's just a question mark. He's not. He never really poses a direct threat to Alita. Vector, man, Vector is just a flunky. That's all he is. It's all he's supposed to be. There's nothing wrong with him being just a flunky, but again, not really compelling. Sheeran, I mean, for starters, you can't botch her adaptation because she's not in the manga. But you know, she's just there. I mean, she just basically seems to explain, be part of the explanation of why Ito had a daughter at one point. She doesn't do a whole lot for the story. Yes, she's the one who builds and maintains Makaku's body, but what does she do besides that? I mean, really, what does she do? She turns turncoat at the end. She sets up, you know, the gambit with Hugo's head. That's a nice recreation of a scene from the manga, and you know, that's it. It doesn't advance her character a whole lot. I don't think it doesn't serve the plot overall. It's just she's just sort of there. Where are the villains in this story? What do they do that's important? Not a whole lot. Um, and you know, when people talk about the movie, why don't they talk about that? It's all well and good to call out, you know, SJWs and other members of the radical left who seem to be invading entertainment in order to forward their own political agenda. That's a valid criticism. Don't fall into the same trap. Um, More about Alita needs to be said than it was a fun movie, and you should go see it instead of Captain Marvel. I mean, if you have people who want to go see it instead of Captain Marvel, by all means, do that. Enjoy it. But you know, in the future, look at these things a little bit harder. Um, you know, it's good to be critical of ourselves, and I know that on the whole, we conservatives in entertainment and the comic space in particular is going to face a lot of opposition from people in the comics industry, and it's important not to, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater, as it were. Um, you know, there's nothing wrong with um, using Alita as a protest of the Captain Marvel film. Just don't do it blindly, okay? Do it with some consideration. Look at the actual faults and flaws of the movie, and they are there. They are significant. Um, and go in with open eyes. Otherwise, you risk becoming as blind as the people you criticize. And I am not defending, for the record, I'm not defending Captain Marvel as a film. I don't plan on seeing it. I actually haven't seen most of this phase of the MCU in theaters. I waited on, gosh, everything. Everything from Age of Ultron to Infinity War. I waited until it came out on DVD or I could catch it on Netflix. And I've done that with pretty much, yeah, basically the Avengers movies are the only films I've gone to see in theaters since Age of Ultron. I, no, I take that back. I went to go see Civil War in theaters. I'm pretty sure that was after Age of Ultron because Captain America is my jam. And you know, I don't regret seeing that movie in theaters at all. No, sir. But the point is, I'm not a Captain Marvel apologist. Brie Larson is trash. That movie can, you know, rot in Rotten Tomatoes. Um, I don't care, you know, anything about that movie. I probably won't even see it on Netflix. Um, it just doesn't look like it's worth it. What I want is um, I want a little more care, a little more self awareness in how we approach media ourselves, just so we don't fall into that same trap. Because it's a little worrying. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little worrying to see, that kind of blind almost advancement of the Alita film. I think your boy Zach, he's not always the best figurehead for Comicsgate, but I think he hit it on the head when he said it was okay. It was a YA film, which the original kind of was not, and that's again part of my issues with it. But okay, I'm going to leave that behind. Backing away, reel it in. No, just have a care. Just have a care. Enjoy Battle Angel if you enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. I definitely enjoyed the action sequences, and the characters, they bug me, but if there's a sequel, I will probably go see that in theaters too. So yeah, and I hope, I really hope, I should probably do a video on the significance of Jeshugan in Alita's development and all that. I really hope that they nail him because he's a big deal. I honestly don't know if you can even encapsulate Alita's full character arc and Nova's full character arc as they're set up. But I hope they find a way to do it. They are good characters, and they got a good running start at presenting them, at least presenting Alita and Ito in this film. So fingers crossed on that front, and I guess we'll just see what happens. Anyway, yeah. Those are my thoughts. Oh, and as for the title of this video, yeah, a Magnos chassis Alita with full upgrades would beat any Captain Marvel you want to throw at her. Yes, including Monica Rambeau. Yes, including Marvel. Yeah, she's that badass. Fight me in real life. But that's pretty much all I gotta say. There's a like button and a subscribe button down below. Use them as you see fit, and I'll talk to you later.